Hey guys, I decided to make a little tutorial or an overview of a recent tool that just came out, AnimKit. It allows us to edit built-in GTA 5 animations and create our own ones. Huge credits to Disquse and FiveM developers for making this possible. Also, of course, dexyfex, the Cold Walker dev, for the research he has done. So let's dive into the installation part. First things first, make sure you have the latest Cold Walker installed. The latest is dev 37. We're gonna need a few tools from the Cold Walker, and unfortunately we will still need OpenIV for certain things in 3ds Max. So in order to download the AnimKit, the link in the description, you just click here and latest release. You download zip, and let's continue from when it's done downloading. After it's done installing, you open up the zip archive. Let's create a new folder called the AnimKit. Oops. And here we will just drag and drop our exe file. The installation is almost done. We open up the don't worry about that, you just run it anyway. If you have any problems with the launching AnimKit, or at any point you just try to launch it as administrator, and most problems will probably go away. So first thing you're gonna do is click manage plugin, and here you're gonna have to navigate to your 3ds Max folder. I've already installed it to my 2017 Max and 2021. To you it's gonna be install instead of update. You just like literally take the pass, go to the pass, and it's done downloading. After that you open up your 3ds Max, but firstly let's make a new folder and call it anim tutorial. So for now we're gonna work with pets. I'm gonna leave a tutorial from Toby's channel on working with pets. It's in English, so please watch that if you have no idea how to work with pets, because it's under the scope of this video. I'm not gonna explain like basic stuff. So the text tutorial uses Cheese's model as an example, and I'm gonna use Cheese's model as well, just to keep it simple for you, so you won't get lost between the two tutorials, the video and the actual one. You just go to the model itself, you filter it, and we have the drawable dictionary with all the models, the textures, and the YFT. We're not gonna need YMT for that. Let's export our YTT to anim tutorial folder we just created. Same with YTT, the textures, and the skeleton, which is YFT. Just for the sake of how games functions, don't ask me why, you're gonna have to rename the skeleton file, the previous YFT file, to the same but space full. Otherwise you're gonna have fake bones, and fake bones just break everything, trust me. Now you launch your games, pretty sure you have games already. If not, please download it, it's not hard to do. So after installing AnimationKit, you're gonna have this new window built in 3ds Max plugin. I mean, we built it in. And now let's import our Jesus. Let's continue from when it's done importing. It's done importing, and before we start, it's important to understand that we're only gonna do this one time. We're gonna create a simple rig, a template if you wish. You're gonna save it as max scene, and we're only gonna do this once. You don't have to use Jesus model, it can be another model until it's a human. If you use like animal and expect it to function with human bones, you're wrong. So we're gonna have to use human skeletons no matter the model. Let's just set up our scene, go to materials, disable transparency. If we come closer it's kinda awkward, so let's enable viewport clipping to make it more comfortable for us. Next thing you're gonna do is delete all the LODs. You literally select anything you can click, which is a model, and you select everything that is underscore med or low. Keep the high, we only care about the high model. The beard, the cross, the hair. Pretty sure, oh, head left. Head is the most important part for some reason. Well, actually I know why, but just remember that you're gonna have to attach it to the head. Don't ask me why. Every single model we have to make into one. So basically attach everything to the head. How do you do that? You go to Editable Mesh Modifier, Attach List. You open up every model, every geometry you have. Everything must be high LOD. So we have everything except our head because we are attaching it to head. You attach, keep the default settings. And now if we hide our head, we will have nothing left. This means that we did right. Now just delete everything that we don't really need. Select child nodes, delete. We only need the head hierarchy with all the bone structure. Next thing we're gonna do, just press 7 in your scene and we see 10,000 vertices. GIMPs for some reason quadruples the vertices, so you're gonna have to weld them. Plus we attached geometry. Keep it like so. 001 threshold. We have this weird shading. Let's flat color this to make it easier for us. So we prepared our scene. We only had to do this once, remember. Now let's save it. Save as. Just I'm gonna name it 1. It doesn't matter the name, but remember that it's a simple rig template. You don't have to do this twice unless you don't save it. Also, people say that there might be crashes somewhere, but I never encountered a single crash working with AnimKit yet. But be careful though. So after we welded everything, if you try to move any bone, let's say a leg, you're gonna see that nothing happens. Geometry doesn't follow the bone. How do we fix that? You go to the skin modifier and you add all the bones. Since it was just the head, it doesn't have all the other bones of other body parts. It's done adding, but Jesus is a drawable dictionary, you remove it. And now it's kinda done some waiting too, so I'm just doing it for simplicity, for you guys to understand what's actually happening. So we see now that it's kinda moves, at least moves, and the last thing we're gonna have to do is actually weight it, solve it. We're gonna use a weight solver for that. You can use a heat map if you want. There are two weight solvers built in 3ds Max weight solvers, heat map and geodesic voxel solver. So heat map is a little bit more slow because it's a little more accurate. I almost want to say that it's more applicable to face animations, facial rig, but honestly any automatic solvers don't work shit for face animations. So just keep it, don't act smart and keep it voxel solver. Trust me, in most cases it's gonna be better. Also takes less time. You're gonna have to keep this 2 or 3. We can keep this like 25, 2, 3. It's basically sharpness or smoothness between the geometry. Max influences is how much bone's gonna affect a certain vertex. So how much weight a certain bone can have to which vertex. So if we press like 3, be aware that stuff like fingers, they have in some parts two bones to affect, so you're gonna have to max this to 2 if you want, or if you're not trying to act smart, just leave it 0. And max resolution, leave it 512 just for the accuracy, and use binding numbers for the accuracy as well. We apply it, and it's gonna be quite fast, a lot faster than a heat map. Heat map takes like 5-7 minutes, depends on the fall off parameter, but here it's gonna take like seconds. Almost done, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's done. We save our scene again, Ctrl S. Now if we move anything we want, we see this. something not perfect, but trust me, it's a lot of work saved, a lot of time saved. We can do that with any bone we want. Most things rigged fine, except for facial animations. You're gonna have to do this with paint weights. It's way easier with paint weights tool, trust me. So let's start animating. We done our rig, a template, you Control S, you never do this again. Now the actual animation starting. So what do we want to do? I'm gonna do something silly and ugly because I don't care, but you do something beautiful. I just explained you how to actually do it. There are two animation tools. Firstly, if you don't have this track bar, go to Customize, Show User Interface, Show Track Bar. Alright. Now there are two modes, Auto Key Mode and Toggle Key Mode. This is a little bit more mechanical. I mean, you're gonna have to do this manually. But let's keep it Set Key Mode for the simplicity. It will be easier to explain. You enable the Set Key Mode. Basically, it's we just entered the edit mode. Let's call it that. So now let's create a first frame. This is a keyframe window, track bar. We create our first frame, it's called keys, set our first keys. We're gonna have this RGB flag, let's call it a flag. If it's not RGB for you, you're gonna have to navigate to filters and enable position, rotation, scale and IK parameters if you want. But by default, it's gonna have RGB colors. Now we navigate to, let's say, frame 26. We move our hand. I selected upper arm bone. We move it, and now we see that it moved. We don't care about the precision this much. The game is gonna look better. After we established our, let's say, next flag, next point, you just press Set Keys. Make sure it's created a flag, and now you have this animation going. Now let's move to frame 50, and let's say you want him to rotate his hand like so. After you did the rotation, press the Set key again, and I don't really know where I want to go with this, but let's say he wants to shake someone's hand. So you might have a question, oh, you only have move the upper arm, what if I want to move the other bone as well? So you just grab the other bone. It's that simple. You just grab the other bone and you establish its first position, then you move to, let's say, 14. You move the hand however you'd like. Please make it a little less ugly, because I'm not paying enough attention to it. Give it more time. Make it beautiful. After we establish the position, press Set Keys again. And then, let's say at 90, we also move the forearm to make it a little less ugly again. So, like so, I guess he's handshakes. Set Keys again. So let's see what we got. Right, I didn't establish the first point of the forearm, that's why I didn't move, but who cares, it's enough. So let's say you're done animating. The next thing you want to do is export the animation, leave the key mode. You select the scale root bone. It's absolutely necessary to do. That's how plugin works. You go to Utilities, with scale root selected, you press Export the skeleton. I'm just gonna use AnimKit for that. It asks us do we want to optimize? It says highly recommended, so I'm gonna believe that and press yes. The amount of time it takes to optimize, in this case 12 seconds. It depends on how much weights and how much vertices you moved, so it depends on the complexity of the animation itself. So we're done with our CDS Max work. Let's go to our AnimKit where I saved the .anim file. The next thing you want to do, from this step, it's super important to either rename this or keep the name the same. For this time, let's not rename this, the .anim file, but pay attention to the names. We drag and drop it to AnimKit and convert to YCD. Save it to the same destination. Now we have our first YCD file. Let's navigate to FiveM folder, your servers folder, and actually set up a correct resource. Just be where you want, you know. This is gonna be named client.lua. Let's open our fx manifest.lua and just type that. fx version Cerulean, GTA 5, client.lua. I'm gonna leave this in the description for you to just copy and paste it. For the client.lua part, we go to the streaming animation into the game and playing it place, and just copy this into the client.lua. So here, the anim name, be very careful here. The anim name is your .anim file's name. The YCD name is your dictionary name. So I kept the same name, so I just type this, and my dictionary is called this. Oh, sorry, I'm back. You save your file, Lua file, you go to your streaming folder and just drag and drop your YCD. So let's fire up the server and check if everything is correct. Now that we are in game, let's check our animation. Let's type play my_anip, which is a default command that is written inside client.lua file, and we can change the command if we want. So it's pretty good, unless for the fingers, because we haven't worked on the fingers. So even though we worked with the cheeses model, it also works on this model as well. So no matter the YDD, we only care about the bone. So until it's human, so unless you're working with animals, you should be good. Free mode models work as well. Now let's move to static models, static animations. Let's say you want a person to raise his hands, or just a thumbs up, or like whatever you want. Let's see how this works. So now that we're in Max, let's open our scene that we saved, our template. As I said, you only do this once. And now check if you don't have any timestamps, keyframes. If you have, for example, if you screwed your template, you have some set keys somewhere for some bones, you just Control A, select all the bones, you delete by pressing delete all the keyframes, and then you deal with the geometry by going to head 000 model, GIMS model, and revert bone transforms, and you're back to the beginning. Now as for the static models, let's make him raising his hands. Let's raise them by 45 degrees, and then just some kung fu shit. I'm not sure if it's already in GTA or not, but who cares? You do you. I guess we also can make him to stand like that. So it's really about your imagination and what you're trying to achieve here. I did some silly stupid shit. So now once you've established your static position, you just enable the key mode and press it once. It's done. So now if you just press play animation, it's gonna be the only frame you have, which means the only animation you will receive. So now the process is the same. You click on scale root. Let's delete the previous animation. Now press export scale to the same destination as the last time. And this time I'm going to do this a little different, just for the sake of this tutorial. So now, just for keep it a bit more clear for you guys, let's rename this to custom animation.anim. And now when we convert this to YCD, of course, we have this name, custom animation YCD. So we place that here, and inside our client.lua file, firstly I changed the play my anim to just play because it's easier. Here you write custom animation. So as I said, that anim file is the anim name, and dictionary name is actually your YCD name. I just wanted to make that clear. Now let's go in game and make sure that it works. I'm pretty sure it works pretty kung fu-ish, guys. So yeah, that's basically it. So next thing we're gonna discuss is the REST functionality of the plugin, of the program, the AnimKit, and let's actually talk about importing vanilla YCD files in case you for some reason want that. First thing we want to do is navigate to our CodeWalker root folder. You open up RPF Explorer, which is a better OpenIV analogy, and Pad Viewer. We're gonna need those two. And of course, let's run our AnimKit. Pad Viewer we're gonna need for, so of course here you can like change how the pad looks, but that's not what we're looking for. We are here for the clips. Let's continue working with the cheeses, because why not? Let's keep this simple. And here we only think about the clip dictionary and the clip itself. So you copy the clip dictionary's name, go to RPF Explorer, and just look for it. We can also choose our animation for now. Well, let's say it's idle transition. It's static and dynamic at the same time. He firstly moves and then he goes static. It's a good example. So now, after we found our clip dictionary YCD, open up your AnimKit and just drag it from RPF Explorer to the window. Don't convert to OAD. Click to the left, create as asset, this folder destination, or just whatever you want really. It takes some time to load shit. Now I'm not gonna spend too much time explaining all the details, because there is deep dive into AnimKit and there is a good explanation of basically everything. but we will make it, don't worry. Go to the clips, and here, if you remember, we chose idle transition, we can call that. Let's search for the idle transition. So this is clips. We found our clip, and clip contain animations. So in GTA, YCD is both clips and animations. So inside this clip, there are 2 animations. Now we're gonna see 2 animations in max. Next thing you want to do is click to one of those, and then just click jump to this animation on animations page. Here it's all numbers, don't worry about that, we only care about skeleton part. If it says none, as far as I'm concerned, to this date, it just means that there's no skeleton data and AnimKit cannot work with that. So it's just bad, it just won't work. What you are looking for is human, which means human bones. Why does it say question mark? Because it's a prediction. The prediction might be wrong. Let's start our max. So there is also sometimes fingers here, because Rockstar preferred to keep fingers and other body parts separate in a sense of animation. I guess it's for optimization purpose, but if you encounter fingers, it's not what you need. Sometimes you can even just delete that from the clips. Like so, like pressing minus. Let's open our Jesus model and import vanilla clip dictionary. Let's delete all the clips that we've created. Revert bone transforms. Now, what you want to do is just, once you establish that it's exactly what you're looking for, human, with your thin and 3ds Max loaded, and only like that, you press load in plugin. So it basically says, if your 3ds Max is running, I will load this in my memory. It says I've done all the shit. Now go to utilities and simply click quick import. Right, you also have to select the root bone, don't forget about that. Like so. Quick import. Now we see our animation in the scene, but we see that definitely it's not idle, he's not sitting. We can play the animation just to make sure. We see him running, definitely not what we saw in Pet Viewer, but now we see him sitting. So that's exactly what I was talking about when I showed you that inside our clip idle transition there are 2 animations. The first one was him running, and the second one is this sitting. You can remove him running by selecting this animation and pressing minus. So let's say you imported this and you want to edit somehow, for some reason. Let's just, I don't know, remove the rest, and there he is sitting. Let's add something, toggle edit mode. Let's say he moves his arm like so, like he's wounded or got shot, touches his belly. And if we play it from somewhere here, we see that. Alright, I didn't press it. Fuck. Right. Now we good. Yeah. So one thing I didn't explain is the amount of frames correlates to the speed. So if you move the flag, it's closer to another flag, it's gonna be quicker, a lot quicker. If we want him to move his arm slowly, we just move it somewhere closer to the end, and he's gonna do it super slow. Yeah, so that's it. Let's say we're done with editing. Now we should just select our scale root bone as always and just press quick export. Yes, and as the developers say, this should already work. You can click quick export button and it will automatically export animation from the 3ds Max to AnimKit. So it should have already replaced the animation right here to this pass. But if it didn't work for you for some reason, you're gonna have to do it manually, like on our first attempt. Export scale somewhere you want. Let's say not here. I don't want it here. Fuck. All right. It placed it right here. You're gonna have to, if quick export didn't work for you, you just select your clip animation, and with your animation selected, you press load anim and select what you just exported. It will also work. So after you're done, you just click on export, save it wherever you want. It will create a YCD, and the rest, you know the rest. You just stream it to a FiveM server, changing the names right here, and it's done. So yeah, that's basically it. It is the end of the video. I just wanted to say that it was a great fun recording this video, and I had a big pleasure diving into the AnimKit, playing with it. I'm really grateful for this tool available. Please share your results, whether it's a big failure like mine, silly animations, or if you succeeded and did something great. Please let me know, because you are only limited with your imagination. I have a little section here in my Discord server for English speakers, so you can just ask your question here if you have any further questions, if something didn't work right. Anyways, I think that's it for today. See you next time. Take care.